A Silver-Eyed Girl's Godly Companion by Mr. Unorthodox, Chapter 3. This is not a normal forest. Hi, Diary. This is my first entry, and I don't really know how to write in these things. But anyway, I'm at Beacon now, and I made a new friend, John, and an enemy from what Yang said, but Naruto said that I'd only haven't convinced the Whis to be my friend yet. So there's that. And there's also that mysterious cool girl Blake. She seems too quiet though. It's kinda hard making friends with people that are older than me. It's not fair that my friends back at Patch are still at Signal Academy while I'm at Beacon already. And when they arrive here, it'll be all weird and strange. But Uncle Crow did always say that life isn't fair. Also, something about an innkeeper's daughter forcing him to take responsibilities. I don't know. I'll just preserve. I'll just persevere through it all, with my sister at my side and my husband at my back. There's nothing I can't do, and done. Ruby said, closing the diary and stuffing it into her locker, unaware that her sister read over her shoulder. Of course, that sister was about to glomp Ruby. Aw, that's real sweet of you, sis. And glomp she did. God, Yank, get off. And don't you know the meaning of privacy? Ruby gave Yang a glare, an adorable one. Privacy? What's that? Yang asked Ruby in Fox wonderment. Before Ruby could make an angry remark, Yang turned on her heel, faced her locker, and continued on talking. Anyway, aren't you excited about the initiation? Wait, initiation? What initiation? Ruby questioned. Where did you even hear that? I think we should work on a signal. Think we should work on our signal? Yeah, I thought so too. So, a passing orangeette said rapidly to her black-haired companion from her. Anyway, so are you excited or what? Yang asked Ruby while finishing her get-up. Or what? Ruby answered awkwardly, not because of her sister, rather because of her uncertainty. Her mind then drifted on to a topic that's been bothering her since morning. Where's Naruto? What's taking him so long? She thought. Seeing her sister's worried, constipated face, Yang decided to distract her. Hey, Rubes, is that your friend, Jake, Joe, Jack, Jailbait? That's it. Hi, name is John. His name's John. Be nice. The Crimson Girl glared at her sister, which caused Yang to bite the side of her cheek to prevent herself from swooping down and clopping her sister. Ruby, unaware of her sister's thoughts, turned to the muttering blonde. Hey, John. Good morning. What's up, to? Oh, hey, Ruby. I'm just looking for my locker. He then proceeded to look around and monitor himself. I swear it was around here somewhere. Well, good luck on your locker hunt, jailbait. Come on, Rubes, let's get going. The initiation's gonna be starting soon. Just after she spoke, an announcement rang out calling all first years to where the location of tests was gonna take place. And that's our cue. Ruby waved goodbye at her friend. Bye, John. Yeah, bye. John replied in a depressed manner and then proceeded to sulk and whisper to himself, I'm so lonely. Because of his defeated demeanor, he failed to notice Wee Sneed talking excitedly to a tall Amazonian looking redhead with a strange glint in her eyes. While said redhead was answering awkwardly, See, I told you, the Sneed girl is trying to seduce that tall Amazon. Think I should sleep with one eye open, huh, Red? The excited looking Orangette asked her companion. Said Orangette was that of short stature, with turquoise eyes and pale skin. She was wearing a collared black vest that ends at her waist, which had a hammer with a lightning bolt symbol on the back. Under the vest were two layers of clothing in the color of red and blue. She was also wearing a white sleeveless top that had a heart-shaped hole between her cleavage and collarbone, with a white detached sleeve on each arm with matching fingerless gloves on each hand. To complete her matching fingerless gloves on each hand, to complete her outfit, she was wearing a pink mid-thigh length skirt with a white bow on the back, pink and white shoes with pink laces at each has the same symbol from the back of her vest on the soles, and armor being in the middle of the shoulder and neck and ends and by the waist. Maybe, but I think we should be going. Come on, Nora. The guy Rand told the now named Nora. Lee Rand, as his full name is, has pale pink eyes and long ebony hair tied into a ponytail that has a magenta streak on the left side. He was wearing a dark green, diagonally buttoned, long-sleeved tailcoat that's red on the inside with black and gold trimmings that goes under the right side of his torso. It forms a black collar and pink cuffs. Okay, come in, Ren, but not that kind of come in, 'cause we're in public and we're not, a couple. But I'm not saying you're not handsome or anything, 'cause you are, but it'd be super weird 'cause we've been friends for so long. Nora blathered on and on, getting the occasional hum of agreement or a grunt of, well, disagreement. Beacon Cliff, a place that overlooks the Emerald Forest and where the current initiation was being held. Near the cliff edge, students can be seen standing on platforms while facing Ospen and Glinda, who are both overlooking the whole spectacle. For years, you all have been training to become warriors that protect our lands from the creatures of Grimm, which will be extinct decades after, thanks to a strange god. As though Ospen thought idly to himself before continuing. And today, in that canopy of trees, he said, pointing to the direction of the trees, the Emerald Forest is where you'll be tested whether or not you're ready for the burdens of a person studying, learning, and becoming a huntsman. Ospen finished before giving it away to Glinda. I'm certain most of you have heard rumors concerning the assignments of teams, and I'm here to confirm said rumors. Glinda momentarily paused and took a quick glance at Ruby, who looked a bit antsy, and continued what she was saying. Each of you will be giving teammates today. Murmurs were heard amongst the students, wondering on how this will be processed. Along those was one crimson rose. What? Oh, Ruby whined about her current away husband. What is happening? What is taking him so long? He should have been back by now. I hope he hasn't got himself in trouble. These teammates will be with you for the rest of your time here at Beacon, so it should be in your best interest to be paired with someone you could work alongside with well. Ospen advised the students. He took a sip from his mug of hot cocoa and then proceeded to look at the Huntsman hopefuls. Yang looked at her sister, who proceeded to whine some more and gave her a thumbs up for reassurance, which earned her a small smile in return. Osman continued his speech. With that said, for this year's initiation, the first person you make eye contact with after landing will be your partner for the next 4 years. See, I told you so, Nora told Red, who only gave his reply in the form of a hum. After you've partnered up, you must make your way towards the northern end of the forest. And along the way, you will meet oppositions. Remember this: do not hesitate to destroy everything in your path, or you will die. And with that, Osman continued on his encouraging speech. John let out a short, nervous laugh and gulped soundly, while Nora had a far too happy look on her face and it could be considered hazardous towards another person's life, of course. That only made John even more nervous. You will be monitored and graded through the duration of the initiation, but our instructors will not intervene. You will find an abandoned temple at the end of the path containing several relics. Each pair must choose one and return to the top of the cliff. And once you do so, your test will be over. Are there any questions? John raised a hand. Yeah, sir, I've got a question, he said nervously. Good. Now, everyone, prepare your landing strategy, Osmond instructed. Everyone got into their own stances except for John, who still has his hand raised. Sir, he repeated, I've got a question. He spoke up, hoping to be heard this time, not noticing Weiss being launched up into the air by the tile underneath her, with others following suit. So, about this landing strategy thing. Well, what is it? Are you like dropping us off or something? No, you'll be falling, Osmond answered nonchalantly. Oh, okay, John said, still not comprehending what the headmaster was saying, and still oblivious to what's happening around him. Did you hand out parachutes or something? Yeah. Nora laughed excitedly as she was launched into the air. No, you'll be using your landing strategy, Osmond said to the blond boy while Glinda gave John a calculating look while the new student Ren was launched. Yeah, John said while not assured and still clueless, though to himself, maybe I should ask more clearly. As he was thinking, Yang, a few students away from John, was preparing herself and gave her sister a wink, which earned her a thumbs up and put on her aviator glasses before being launched. Woohoo! Yang yelled as she was launched, followed by her sister, who herself was ready for the takeoff. So, how will we be falling? Jan began, only to be interrupted by being flung off the cliff. Osmond took a sip from his mug before answering. With style. Of course, this earned him a deadpan look from his trusty subordinate. Hello? Anyone out there? Hello? Yang, after maneuvering through different obstacles by utilizing her short gauntlets, amber silica, and after landing, was now combing through the forest in search of a partner. She was okay with nearly anyone to be her partner, and she very much welcomed a partnership with her sister, though she knew that it'd be better if they didn't pair up for Ruby's sake. Ruby had been getting better, but Yang would prefer it if Ruby met some new people. Then again, it'd be much easier for us if we became partners, so she thought for herself, but before hearing a rustling from the bushes behind her. Who's there? She went to the bushes to take a look. Ruby, is that you? She asked before hearing an inhuman growl which prompted her to look up. Nope, not Ruby. She was then forced to roll to the side as the Ursa, a bear-like grim, took off, charging towards her and tried to take a bite out of her. Yang righted herself and activated Emerald Silica before sensing another Ursa charging at her from behind. She backflipped over Ursa number 2 as she promptly named it in her head to dodge a charge from Ursa number 1, all the while unleashing a fiery punch at number 1. Number 2 was attempting another charge, but Yang countered it by sucking under its swipe and delivering multiple and successive punches before finishing it up with a kick that sent it flying backwards. You guys wouldn't happen to have seen a red-hooded girl, have you? You know, about this tall, has red-tipped black hair, and probably in the middle of passing out right now? She asked, only receiving a pair of growls as an answer. Rude, you could have just said no. One of the Ursa took a couple of slashes at her, only for Yang to dodged them all and laughed. Ah, geez, you two couldn't hit the broadside of a bomb. She started to say, taunt really only to stop when she noticed a strand of her hair fall in front of her face and land on the ground. You. Her fists began to shake with rage as her eyes began to blaze a bloody red. Monsters! She screamed as a fiery shroud overtook her form and she began unleashing a barrage of fiery-filled disaster. She went to the closest Ursa and prompted to deliver a devastating fire-infused punch after punch before ending it with a mighty blow that sent it flying through several trees. She then proceeded to charge at the remaining Ursa and was forced to jump to avoid a high swipe aiming at her face. Seeing an opening, she quickly made her way and jumped once more, this time landing on the Ursa's back. She wrapped her legs around the neck before bashing its skull in mercilessly. Suddenly a voice from behind the tree drawled out, "Wow, you really like your hair, huh? What, you want a piece of me, too?" Yang bellowed, still filled with blood pumping adrenaline. I hope that temper's not a common occurrence. That'd really be difficult to deal with for the next 4 years. The voice said, sounding a tad amused before its owner stepped into view, revealing Blake Belladonna, the bow-wearing girl from last night. Yang, after calming herself down, chuckled sheepishly before looking at her new partner. It's nice to see you again. And it looks like we're partners now, huh? And Blake merely lifted an amused eyebrow. Indeed, in another part of at the Emerald Forest. Okay, gotta find Yang, gotta find Yang, Ruby muttered to herself while making her way through trees. Though I guess partnering up with Blake might not be so bad. She's so mysterious, so calm and collected, but I'm not so sure I can hold a conversation with her though. There's John, but he seems a little lanky though, and not too good at fighting, and seems not good at fighting. And then there's Pyra. She seems nice. Don't know her that much. Don't know her that much though. And who else? Yang, John, Blake, Pyra, and her train of thought was suddenly derailed when something crashed into her from above. As she was shaking the cobwebs out of her head and cleared her vision, she found herself looking into the icy blue eyes of one wee Sneem, who was straddling her waist with a look of surprise on her face. Whis? Ruby thought as Whis slowly got off of her. This'll be a rocky partnership. There was a moment of silence between the two of them before Whis turned around and walked to the other direction, apparently not caring about the pairing rule. However, just as Whis got a few feet away from Ruby, a resounding cacophony of growls could be heard coming from her left side. There, hiding behind a tree line, was a pack of beowulfs, intent of making a lunch out of Whis, but of course, all of the growling got the girl in white and the scarlet lady's attention. Looks like we're stuck together, huh? Ruby said as she unfolded crescent rose and took a stance. Seems like it. You better not hold me back, we said as she prepared Mertonaster, her rapier, while also preparing a glyph. Wouldn't dream of it. With that, the two began the would-be slaughter.